Hi everyone, in today's DIY projects we'll be crafting with Dollar Tree items. I'll be showing you ideas on how to start up a small business using the new xTools laser engraver, laser cutter and blade cutting machine. It's a long title, but this machine does it all. So let's get started with our first DIY project. I went to the wood section in the Dollar Tree and I picked up these large wooden circles. They are 11 and 7/8 inches in diameter. So I'll be using these pieces today to create a mirror using my laser cutter. I'm just removing those strings from the wood. I won't be needing those. And I'm in the xTools design space, but I created my own design. And let me show you how I did that using Canva Pro. You can create personalized design in Canva. Just make sure that it's okay for you to sell it if you're going to be selling. To export your file, click on download and export it in SVG format and then select transparent background. Now I'm back in the xTool software and this is the image that I imported earlier. I'm highlighting it and I'm changing it to my size and I'm doing 10 inches. My wooden round is in the machine, so you're looking at the image inside of the machine and I'll show you that. Next I'll select auto measure and the machine will measure the thickness of my wood and it's 2.5 millimeters. I have my wood on the triangular prism, so I selected that and I'm cutting, so I selected cut and I'm using the built-in setting for the speed and the power. So here's my wood inside and I just selected that button on the front to send the machine to work. And as you can see, there are some smoke because we're doing laser cutting. And the machine comes with a vent hose, so you'll need to be right next to a window where you can place your hose through the window. And I cut a small hole in a piece of thin plywood and I glued my hose to it so it can send the fumes outside while my machine is working. I also have an air assist. It's a separate attachment and it helps to keep down the charring of the wood while it's burning. And here's the completed design, and the machine tells you how long it will take. Sometimes it's a little bit longer and sometimes it takes a little bit less time. Here are all my pieces and I'm just going to be using 2 pieces and I can also use the rest of it for a separate design. This piece flew out of the position, so it was cut twice. Not sure why that happened. I'm using a 10-inch mirror and I'm also using a separate piece of my wooden round from the Dollar Tree. I'm using these 2 pieces. I'll be spray painting this one gold with my Rust-Oleum reflective gold spray paint. And I'll be using acrylic paint on this piece of the design. And I'm using my white acrylic paint and I just want that paint to be on the top, so I'm using my fingers. While that's drying, I'll prepare my hook for the back and I'm just using this piece of wire from my picture frame hook package. And I'm placing it right in that hole where the strings were. And to keep it secure, I'll use my Aleene's mixed media adhesive. And I'm also using my hot glue and I'm placing a piece of tissue paper on top so I can continue working. I then took it outside and I spray painted it white with my gloss Rust-Oleum. I'm also using this bamboo hoop. It's 12 inches and it fits perfectly on top of that piece of wooden round. I spray painted it gold and I'm just attaching it to that wooden round with my Gorilla wood glue. After it was dry, I flipped it over and now I'm attaching my mirror and it's a 10-inch mirror. So the completed size for my mirror is 12 inches. Bear in mind that this is an enclosed desktop machine and it can cut items up to 11 by 15 inches. So if you have a small area like myself and you're thinking about starting a small business out of your home, then this is perfect. My affiliate links are in the description box below in case you'd like to get one. I have these rhinestone beads from Michaels and Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to be using the one from Hobby Lobby. I'm placing them right between that gap, but before I continue, I want to secure my space for my design, so I'm attaching the pieces, and I'm using my Aleene's mixed media to do so. To attach my rhinestones, I'm using my tacky glue, and I'm just putting a generous amount in the space. And I'm placing my rhinestones. You want to give this 24 hours to dry. After it was dry, I cleaned my mirror and hung it on the wall. And here's how this one turned out. I hope you like it. Now let's move on to our second project. I'm going to images and I'll select my file. And you can create this design on the xTool software, but I like this font that I always use from Canva. I'm selecting outline so we can have 2 layers. And you can see the difference. For the inner layer, we're going to be engraving. And you can see that area turns solid orange. That's for engraving. And the outer line, we're going to be cutting it. And this piece of wood was included in the M1 supplies box. I placed my piece of wood in the machine, as you can see, and I'm just placing my words where I want it to be on the wood. I selected my size and I sent the machine to work. This is a frame from Dollar Tree and I'm making a sign for towels. So I'll have his on one side and hers on the other side. And I'm just using my Gorilla Wood glue to go all around this frame since it's MDF wood. I'm not sure if that makes a difference, but I'm just doing it. After it was dry, I added a second layer of my wood glue and I'm attaching some black rhinestones on the inside. I'm just scraping away the extra rhinestones on the corners and I'm placing the extras back into the bottle. And then I'll attach my word to my frame. And to align them, I'm just placing them back in that piece of basswood and I'll just push it right out so it comes out straight. I placed some weights on top and I allowed them to dry. Now we have the Dollar Tree hooks and that's what we're going to be using to hook our towels on, and they come with screws. But to hook our frame on the wall, I'll be using Velcro. I forgot to mention that I washed my engraved pieces just to get it to be a little bit lighter to match the frame. And I also use my clear Rust-Oleum coat to go over my glitter. And here's the final result of this project. I hope you like this one. Now let's move on to our third project. I'm using this tempera paint. I'm going to be engraving on the Dollar Tree champagne flutes. And I'm just using my paint with a soft bristle brush. I'm putting a good amount of my paint to cover the entire area. And I'm brushing that paint lightly. And I tried to get it as even as I could. I placed it to dry for 6 hours. While it's drying, I'm preparing my roller. And this roller can hold very small items. It can hold a round item with this extended piece. And it can also hold a hurricane vase from the Dollar Tree. And the rollers are removable, so right now I'm using the chuck, and that's what I'm using to hold my champagne glass. And I'm also using this extra piece that can raise the glass up or down to help me to level it. And a small level was included in the package. And here's my design that I created in Canva. I'm just lining it up on my glass, and everything on the right hand side will be engraved. And that yellow line is a representative of where the red dot was on the glass. So that helps you to align your glass properly. Just make sure that it's straight. And I'm selecting laser cylindrical, and I did the auto measure. I use my tape line to measure the perimeter and the diameter. I place those in and we're engraving, and I'm changing the power to 90. And this power seems to work very good, and the speed, I'm placing the power at 90 and the speed at 25, and this works perfectly. I like it like that. I've been practicing. I did a few glasses, messed up a few glasses before I present this one to you. Okay, so this setting worked perfect for this Dollar Tree glass. I sent my machine to work. And here's the final result, guys. I think it came out perfect. But let me know what you think. I hope you like this one. Let's move on to our fourth project. For this project, I'm using the 3mm basswood that came in the package, and I'm making a logo. This was just a quick logo, there was no thought put into it, but I went into Canva and I looked for the C and I just write my name in it. I outlined it and then I removed the original logo so I can have a backing for that logo. I auto measured, I did not place it on the prism. I sent it to cut with the recommended speed and power, and here they are cutting. And this is how that turned out. I'm not sure what happened, but it scored my base plate. I'll be using my Gorilla wood glue for this entire project. This is the outline, okay, that we cut, and I'm just adding the Gorilla wood glue and I'm adding some black glitter. And this will be the backing for my front design. While that's drying, I have this round wooden disc from the Dollar Tree. I'm just removing that family sign. And I'm using my white acrylic paint to paint the top. And I'm also going to be adding some fine glitter on top just to hide the damage from where I removed that word. I'm adding some glitter and then I'll paint it again. Now it's time to attach the front part of my design, and I'm just using this little tweezer that was included in the package, and I'm using some weights on top to hold it down. And I'm using my wood glue to attach my pieces. Now my base is dry, so I'll just go ahead and place my design on the top, and I'm trying to center it. I'm just wiping off the excess glue. I don't want it showing on the edge. And I'm using my brush to take off the extra glitter. And I also cut extra letters. The ones that I did on the first design, they came out too small, so I'm adding larger ones. So now we're all done with this project. I hope you like this one. Now let's move on to our fifth project. So we did the laser cutting, the engraving, and now we're doing blade cutting. So for the next project, we're using these 3 glass jars from the glassware section in the Dollar Tree. I'm using my ruler to measure the top, and each one measures 3.20 inches. And I'll be using self-adhesive vinyl for this one. I messed up quite a few times. I selected the wrong material. The materials were not marked, so I was totally clueless. The PVC is a little bit thicker than the heat transfer vinyl. So I think it was necessary for the company to mark each package for a newbie like myself that has never used a Cricut or any machine like that. So I'm on the XCS software, the xTool software. I select shapes and I selected a circle, and I'm outlining that circle, and I'll be making 3 of those, so I'm just copying and pasting, and I outlined all 3. And I'm also selecting my butterfly. I got this from Canva. And the xTool software has images and projects that you can choose from, but it's limited. As you can see in the materials section, I have the wrong thing selected. It's supposed to be adhesive PVC. I'm also selecting my butterflies, and I outline my butterflies on my black PVC instead, and I use the white PVC to print out the butterflies. And this is how I did it for the outlines. You just outline it, then remove the center, and you have the outline, and you can cut those. Okay, so I cut 3 of those, and I have the correct material now. And I'm using my own setting. I sent the machine to work. Now it's time to apply all my pieces. You'll need transfer tape, that's not included in the package, and you'll need a burnishing tool also. I did not have any burnishing tool, so I just use what I have. And I forgot to remove these parts that I don't need. And this is just a circle, a smaller circle that I place in the center, so I can have that area exposed, and that way my knobs will stay in place better. And as you can see, I was left with some bubbles. I needed the right tools. Here are my black butterflies, and this is the outline. And I'm just placing it on my jar. I'm placing the outline first, and then I'll place my white butterfly on top. Now to place my canisters, I have a Dollar Tree tray, and I'll just use my Rust-Oleum Gold spray paint to spray paint my tray. And I also have these little knobs that I made a long time ago using epoxy resin. You can use any knobs that you have. I spray painted those gold also. And to go around the cover, I'll be using this mosaic mirror tiles. And I'm just cutting off 2 rows. And they're self-adhesive, so I'm attaching them going all the way around. And here's how this project turned out. I hope you like this one. Now for our 6th and final project, we're doing a personalized canvas. This canvas bag was included in the package. So I'm using my same design, and this time I'm using heat transfer vinyl. I'm doing the outline, so my design will be easy to remove. And I'm selecting reflect horizontally to flip my design since we're working on the back of the paper. Now I'm cutting out the design and I'm just weeding it. I don't have a heat press, so here's the first side of the canvas. As you can see, it looks a little bit squiggly. It's not straight and nice. I used the iron directly on top of it and it melted. So now I'm using my iron on the cotton setting, and I place a piece of parchment paper on top of my HTV, and I'm also using a thin towel on top. I pressed it for about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes before I could remove it. In the future, I'll definitely get a heat press. I can see how it will save time and supplies. I kept checking it. The first time around, it was not ready. And now it's all done and it looks good. You can see the difference on this side. So we're at the end of our projects for this week. Let me know which one was your favorite. I hope you like at least one of them. Please let me know in the comments section, and please remember to give me a thumbs up. I'll really appreciate that. It helps out my channel. If you missed my previous video, here it is on the screen. Go ahead and click that rectangular box to watch. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Take care, and I'll talk to you in my next one. Bye-bye.